David Norris is a professor of endocrinology and forensic biology at CU Boulder with 46 years of teaching experience. He is constantly required to write in both of his fields of interest and has written and contributed to several textbooks on endocrinology. He has also written scholarly articles about his research for scientific journals, as well as multiple legal documents that he presents in court where his background in forensics lands him a spot as an expert witness in high-profile homicide cases. I sat down with David in his lab to discuss his opinions on scientific writing, as well as his background as a scientist.
Basically, what one says is, I think I want to be a science person. Although I started out planning on being a high school teacher. And when I did my student teaching, I felt, gee, I don't know very much about this subject called biology yet. So I thought maybe I should go on and do some graduate work first. And so I did that. And at that time then, I got interested in this whole story of how the environment works through the nervous system to control the endocrine system, to control major life history events like development and reproduction and so forth. The thing about endocrinology that I think is always exciting is that it forces you constantly to think about what goes on in a whole organism and how that relates to how that organism functions in the real world. Some scientists are pretty good at communicating. I mean, we're talking about communicating for sciences. Some are just atrocious. I mean, they just don't communicate. All the information is there, but they lack organizational skills. They don't get it in the right order. It's just sort of all over the place. Just move. You know, and that's one of the important things, is that you need to write from an outline of some sort. Whether it's in here or not, you've got to have a plan. It's a difficult tightrope, especially with something like a textbook, where you have to find a level that the audience you're trying to reach can read. At the same time, you have to impress your colleagues that it's an intellectual enough book so that they'll use it, and that it has all the things that they would like to see there, as opposed to what may be the best thing for the student on the other end. So you have to sort of find a compromise there. So one of the things that you have to think about, and the idea of topic sentences or the opening paragraph of a section, is to think about how you want to grab the audience's attention first to get them to go on beyond that. I can remember when I was first writing the textbook, for example, my wife would read something that I had written, and she would say, "What are you trying to say here?" And then I would just very simply try to tell her, "Well, this is what I'm trying to say." And she would say, "Well, why didn't you just say that?" And there's also a tendency in science to use that passive approach because you don't want to appear egocentric, you know. But it's much better to say, "I did this," than to say, "This was done and that was done." In other words, I think being direct is very helpful in getting things across to your audience. Okay, I'm David Norris. I'm a professor of integrative physiology here at CU.